All right, Kenzie, here's what I was thinking. I was going after you left last night, and then this morning, as I was reflecting on it, I was like, I wonder if I should. And I recorded something on my phone, like a voice memo about like going over the lesson of what we talked about. And I realized, maybe it'd be better. I have a little channel I set up for Harbor, which me playing like doing something at the piano and singing and I'm trying to compete with Miss Rachel and being her number one. But then I also do one for Jasper, little science things that kind of take a few minutes, and then I put them in this channel just for him to look at when he gets a chance. So I thought, well, maybe I could do that with this, is give you some reminders of what we talked about, but then also it's kind of like a summary of that, because your questions help me know like, oh, this is what other people would wonder too. And then by putting it together, maybe what we could do is, like, I know your dad wants to learn how to play the guitar, so maybe these videos, or I could do something like this for him even though he's not around. So I thought I'm going to recap what we talked about and try to keep it brief, but just as a reminder, so you got your 6 strings, right? And each of these are your tuning. And so here is one of the things I was saying in the voice memo that I recorded for you, if you can see what it is. So this is a tool that guitarists use to tune their guitar. So you clip it on, you put it where you can see it. It's upside down here. So you put it on where you can see it, and then you strum the key, or the note. You'll notice, I don't know if I can see it or not, but it's like, so you can see, like, the idea is you want it at 12 o'clock straight up. It's a little blue line, but if it goes below that, then you turn the key one way to get it closer, and you strum it again. You do. And there's each one supposed to be at a specific thing. You'll have to look that up. I don't even have that memorized, so in a tool like that, or you can have a guitar app or something like that that can do it as well. But you just have to make sure these are all tuned without having the capo on. They're all tuned at the original length from down here at the bottom all the way up to the top here. So you don't want anything obstructing. And all right, so then we talked about last night the 3 keys that you could practice with your fingers. And again, look these up if you can't remember them. I had them originally, and would print out a little chart so I could see which. This is a G, which is, remember, it's that the 5th is up here. And remember, all you're doing is you're pressing these strings to shorten them. You're trying to make them, instead of going all the way from down here all the way to the top, you're just pressing them here. So instead of this sound, it's, and if you went lower, it'd be. So you're just changing. So these fingers are just pressing into place the right spots on the right key, the right strings. And then that's when I tell you that, and some guitarists will say, no, you're not supposed to play certain keys when you're holding down certain things. All right, whatever. I don't do it right, and I apologize to every purist out there, but I am having a lot of fun in my life, so that's what I'm really doing it for. So remember, all I'm doing is holding this G, and I can do almost anything down here. I'm still just holding that G, and then practice the C, and then it goes to, remember, these 3, and it goes 2, 4, 5, but it's like a little staggered. Look it up. So you want to practice, like, trying to get it where you're not, because your fingers are naturally going to be touching other strings, and they're going to make noises. So you're practicing how to hold your fingers so that they're not interrupting the vibrations of the other strings. Some people, if ever you learn certain ones, and I'm not going to ever show you one that I have to do this because I don't like it at all, but like there's certain ones where you have to hold down like 3 strings with one finger. And maybe I should practice now, but I always hated that because what you would end up doing is trying to use 3 fingers to do it, or anyway, find what works. The idea is when you want to have a C, you're going to want to go, those 3 strings need to be pressed down. And then the D is down at the bottom where it's that first and third are in that second fret, and then that second string is actually in the third. So it's this weird little, I don't know, I always picture it like it kind of is, look like a D shape, like a triangle. So, and I do remember this, that they recommend like when you're doing a D, like those upper ones, they don't really go with the D, but they don't clash either. If I do them all, some people might hear it and go like, I can hear you doing something. I was like, all right. There's a C. There's G. Then we'll go down to C. Back to G. Then down to D. And there's G. Then down to D, and then I'm gonna end the song, so I go to a C, and then back to a G. So my understanding is like all three of those things, because you'll play a G with others, like you'll do a G, and then later an A minor, and or a G and an E minor. But whatever it is, when you put, apparently when the G, the D, and the C are in the same song, those three, then I guess that key the song is written in is G, which kind of means that it usually starts and ends on that G chord. Doesn't necessarily have to, and one of the things that people do is they write in the song, they don't get resolution. So they go from a G down to a C, then the song's over with D. People are like, wait, you gotta go back to the G. And that's, so there's different ways that people write songs. And I remember that I was in a chorus once and that people always wanted to like do the next chord because it was like, it seems like it's missing. So anyway, and then the last thing I wanted to just remind you of is the capo. And remember, the capo is all you're doing with the capo is you are now shortening all 6 strings. So remember, they start here, they go all the way up here. When you hold down one, it shortens that one string, but when you put a capo on, it shortens all of the strings. So the reason why I like that is because then I can do the same fingering for the G. This is not a G anymore, but in my head, I can play G, C, D. So here's G, C, D with the capo now on 2. It's not really a G, but the chord I'm holding is the G structure. Down to C, back to G, and down to D. If we're ending the song, we'll go to C, and then back to G. So again, you hear the difference. Now listen, I'll do the same exact thing, but I'll go way down here to the 5th one. So now it's almost sounding like a little ukulele. It's starting to get, and G, G, and down to the C, back to the G, and then down to D. Remember, it's not really a D, it's just the fingers that you're holding are the D structure. Way without the capo, then ending the song, go to C, and then back to G. So again, you're strumming, it gives you a lot of freedom. And I realize, and I think I said this last night, when you ever watch somebody playing the bass guitar, they're typically doing what I'm doing. They have like their fingers held onto a certain way that it's a chord, and they're going boom, 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 down, 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 boom, boom, boom. But it's like deep bass, you know, and that's why. But that's what I realize is I play the guitar where this hand is like a bass guitar and this hand's like a acoustic guitar. You get to find your own, and the more you get to know this, and remember, you gotta, like, it's gonna hurt your fingers, especially with the steel string that you took home. By the way, I forgot to tell you that guitar itself is that's Connor's. So we will get you a guitar, but I wanted you first to play around with it to see, are you like comfortable with it? Are you, because the other thing is, let's go to the guitar store and one day look at nylon strings. And once you play a nylon string, you may say, for your purposes of just enjoying it, you're not looking at getting out and performing or something, because the steel string has more volume to it, you know. You don't, and you can make these also, plug them in a lot of times in order to make them electric or electric acoustic. So anyway, that's my little lesson update. It's almost 10 minutes, so I apologize if it's too long. I'll try to give me feedback if it's helpful or not later, and I'll adjust accordingly if we do these again. But I kind of like them as follow-up, just to kind of review what we did. Cheers. Tell your mom hi.